Good evening and welcome to Chelsea Family BBQ. As you can see, I'm all by myself again. So we're just going to have to make do with the smartest person on the panel as it is, and you'll just have to put up with me. Uh, I don't know where the other guys are, what they're doing, but I guess they just can't be bothered to be here. So we've got a big week behind us and a pretty big week in front of us as we come down to the end of the transfer window in January. Um, got some big games ahead of us as well. So keep locked in, and we'll keep you up to date and kind of separate myth from fact. A lot of people use the word fact. It's a fact. In most cases, it's an opinion. So you know, it is what it is. But you have to have somebody at least be the BS meter. And who's better to be a BS meter than a Texan, right? We know bullshit when we smell it. We smelled it our whole lives. So we have to know what's going on. But yeah, just waiting for the guys to come in and we'll get into it. But of course, we've just announced the signing of Noni Madueke, left-footed right winger. Those are always good to have. Plus, he's English, so he fills the English quota both for the Premier League and for the Champions League. Yeah, there's Josh. He can't be here. He's just going to listen. Okay. Well, you're trained very well then, Josh. You know, he's married, so he's broken already. He knows how to listen. Well, I'll tell you what, you're going to make somebody a good husband someday, Josh. A little bit of banter is good for the soul. But yeah, Noni is. I've heard people say, kind of, if you want to look at somebody, look at a Dembele type. I don't think he has the right foot that Dembele has, um, which I feel is important because you got to be able to go the other way. Just like if you're a right-footed player coming in off the left-hand side, you have to have at least uh, some quality in your left foot. So, because what people do is they'll start cheating. They'll shade Mudueke to his left foot, and they'll shade, like Mudrik, if he was right foot dominant and had nothing on the left foot, they would shade him to come in on his right. At least the good defenders do. Um, it's just like in basketball. If you know somebody's right hand dominant, they're going to go their right all the time. If they have a left hand in the post, they can go right or left. But if you're only one side dominant, and you can't hit the broadside of the barn with the other foot in this case, then why not shade you to your strong side? So I feel that's important, but he seems like he'd be a pacey player, which we're missing. Uh, Most of our pace has gone with Pulisic. Um, Sterling has pace, but I don't think he's as sudden. He doesn't seem to me to be a sudden player, or maybe he's lost a step. Who knows? Yeah, he is, but I just, again, because of those assets of being quick and pacey and young and still growing and putting all these miles on these legs already, is why he's gotten the muscle injuries. Let's be very honest. The more explosive the athlete is, when they're in this stage where they're not fully grown, they're not done growing, their muscles will get bigger, and you put weight training on top of that, and of course the games and the practices, they all add up, and that's why you're seeing more and more young players get a lot of muscle injuries because they're overworking key muscle groups, and they're not getting the downtime that they need to recover. Um, so even if you want to say, we don't want to sign any more injury-prone players. Well, I think Levi Caldwell is out again, 6 weeks this time, injury in training. He was injured in the preseason. Why didn't get much of a look this summer, and some this season. So, look, if you're looking at young players, a lot of them are going to have these leg injuries. With if it's not hamstring pulls, it's a muscle pull or a calf or something like that. That is just because those muscle groups are overworked, and so you just have to live with that until you get them on the correct diet, or those muscle groups stop growing so much, and um, and of course, then hopefully those things don't keep with them. I think Dembele's similar. He had all those injuries, although in that case, Dembele doesn't take care of his body. Um, these athletes have to learn that you're going to be playing this many games, 365, folks. That's your job. That's your tool. That's what makes you all this money. Not being on YouTube, not doing these promotions. Because believe me, if you're not playing, if you're not an athlete, nobody cares what you have to say, right? Nobody cares what you have to sell if you're not an athlete. So be an athlete first. Um, Yeah, I got you, Josh. No muscle injuries, but as you can see with Pulisic, who has his last two stints on the injury list have been because of play on the field, not muscle injuries. But that doesn't mean he's not injury prone. Now, does it? We know how it works. If you're a favorited player, you're not injury prone. But if you're maybe not stand by everybody, you know, any injury means you're injury prone. So um, again, we'll just have to see. Clearly, he was scouted by Vavell and his team, um, and I think that Vavell has looked at him uh, with the Red Bull organization as well. So uh, yeah, it's great. That's just showing you again. It's not ownership doing these. It's not the board doing. I guess they're considered kind of the board, but it's not the management board from before. It's people that know what they're doing in football. We've put football people in the correct places, and then you just trust that they're going to make the right decisions. Does that mean they always will? No, but at least they're football people. We're not putting Ed Woodward in charge of stuff, right? We're not putting Edu in charge of things. We're putting actual football people that know how to run the club properly. Um, And so that's why we'll be successful in these transfers to hopefully a higher extent than what we have in the past. I'm saying we've been 500 on our transfers, and that's probably on the high end, which means we hit on half of our transfers. I really don't think it's half. It's probably a quarter if we're really looking at the past 5 years. Not a lot of them have worked really well. So uh, yeah, and that's great because even if these players aren't the players that you would sign, first of all, hold that because that's the reason we're on YouTube and you're in the chat and we don't work for a major football organization in the world because guess what? We don't know as much as they do. That's why we're doing this and they're doing what they're doing. I'd love for the roles to be reversed, but I don't see that happening. Uh, so yeah, as long as the football people and not the money people making the decisions, I'm fine with it because that's what you hire them for. And if they don't do their jobs or they're missing too much on their on what their projections are, then that's when you send them down the lane and you get somebody else that you consider better in. So yeah, for me, I'm not really worried about the transfers coming in. Because like I said, it's a collaboration like it should always be between Potter's people, who he has his own. He has his one guy that he brought over from Brighton. That's his player evaluator. So he works with the recruitment team. So again, Potter's not going to be micromanage or in a micro capacity to transfers and scouting. He will work with his guy who knows exactly what profile players that Potter wants. And then they'll say, okay, find us these types of pet players. They'll go out and scout them and find these players and go, okay, here's the names and run them by Potter. But Potter's not going, oh yeah, I'm good. We need to scout this person or that person. That's being done for him. So he just has a say in it. He has input, but he's that nobody has. I don't think there's really a singular um, vote. Maybe there is. If it's between two players, there might be somebody. Maybe it's Vavel. Maybe it's somebody above Vavel. It would be probably be Michael Edwards if when and if he comes in this summer that says has the veto power or can say, well, if it's between two players, I get to pick. Maybe somebody's gonna. It's there's always comes down to one person. So one person will have that role. Whether at the club yet, I don't know. But as far as the signings we have had since Potter has come in, and some of the youth over the summer, I think they've been brilliant. Um, I if we could, if you want to do hindsight, I know that it would have probably been better to make this change over the summer and not brought in your Raheem Sterlings and your Aubameyangs. And maybe you've already had that. You would have already had that central midfielder in. Um, and maybe these players like your Mudriks, because apparently we were looking at him this summer. Whether that's true or not, I have no clue. Reportedly, or it's out there in the ether that we were looking at him, and I'm sure that has to do with again Vavel, and those would be the regions that he was doing having heavy scouting done, because they look at these smaller, the Belgian league, the Ukrainian league, some your Dutch leagues, smaller leagues, to get them to there's several different. They have Red Bull, Salzburg, and then Leipzig. Of course, those are you can feed players from those teams into those two organizations. So maybe since we were in talks with him, that was a name that was passed on. I don't know. Let's conjecture at this point, but I'm just happy that we have owners that see needs that we have. They're not happy with the results, but they're not going, well, I'm just going to fire the coach because then I don't have to spend any money other than the severance and paying for the new manager. What they're saying is, okay, we've done the manager. We're not going to do that again. This is the guy we want to work with. So now we're going to look at these players, which we've all been asking for year after year after year. Quit sacking all these managers. Look at the players, because the one constant through all those managers are the players, right? Yeah, FFP is not coming for us. Okay, that's that's people crying about the way we're doing things. Again, billionaires don't do anything unless legal says you're okay. So all it is sour grapes and people crying because their clubs aren't doing it either, right? That's all it is. I don't think there's anything about length of contracts in FFP. Okay, it's like finding a loophole in a tax loophole. You're going to use it, and it might not be the most noble thing to do, but fuck that. This is football. It's about winning or losing, not about nobility. We're not having a duel or a joust. Screw that crap. Do what you got to do to win. I think there's a saying in NASCAR, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. Right? So if you find a loophole, exploit that bad boy. And even if the other clubs knew about this and could have done this, you think United's owners are going to be spending this type of money? You think Arsenal's owners are going to spend this type of money? FSG? Nobody's come in like this. You know, you can say Bowley and team brought their big boy pants. They're putting out the money. And some of the signings have been absolutely incredible. And we can go through some of those. And they're younger signings. They're not the signings that you might see on Saturday or Sunday in the near future. But we've all seen Chukwemeka already and what he can do. Cassidy out of the from Inter Milan. You have Andre Santos, who, you know, I know it's under 20 Brazil national team, but he was the captain playing number 6, or as a number 6, and put a man of the match performance in, had a goal, was just looked very good and looks the part. So there's another one. You look at the Fofana, reminds me of oh, look at this. The Superman, the No 10 Superman to the rescue. All buildings in a single bound. All right, my guy. Well, I was just talking about the signings that we've done that I think that, you know, you're not going to see regularly yet in the squad, but in another year or so, you might, you know, come in, you know, next season, you might see some of these players in the squad, because it looks like we're top loading the squad with talent. And so deeper in the squad, you're going to have younger players to pick up some of that slack. I don't know. Does that seem like that's what we're doing?
I think so. It looks like it. Looks like we are getting as much done as possible in January to really focus on one or two spots in the summer, but maybe spend big again in the summer, but only on one or two players, something like that. Because my feeling is what's come out tonight about us being linked to Gusto, the right back, maybe is linked to the story about us getting a lone midfielder. Because maybe they're going to spend a lot of what's left on Gusto, get the lone midfielder in, and go from there. Because really, if you get the right back in, you really are looking at maybe 3 players in the summer, 3 or 4 players in the summer, right? So you're looking at whatever. If João Felix does well, they'll probably go for João Felix. Yeah, maybe 2 midfielders and then a goalkeeper. That's what I'm thinking. Right. And spend a big wad on that. But it really all depends. I'm just guessing at this moment in time. But it's funny. I heard you earlier with the stuff about people complaining. Well, these the same fans who said that, well, Roman's gone, his sugar daddy's gone now, your spending days are over. These Americans won't be spending big. You know, stuff like that. Stuff like that. Yeah, so it's just funny, man. And also, I heard no one complain about Nottingham Forest giving that Brazilian guy they signed a 6.5-year contract. I just want to know if they got a problem with that as well. That's all. That's all
No,
good. It's good to be hated again. That's all. It's good to be hated again. You know.
Yeah. Well, Jim, I don't know. This is Texas barbecue. We usually deal with beef, not chicken. You know, we usually have some chicken around for the kids. You know, but it's mainly beef. You know, that's how we do it down here. I don't know how they do it. I don't know if they barbecue only chicken in England, but
I think back to your original question, though. Yeah, I think they're getting because I predict there's going to be a massive. We're going to see more outgoings in the summer than incomings in the summer.
Oh yeah,
that's my guessing. So yeah, I that would be my guess, and rightly so, because let's face it, there's not enough room. So we're going to see the likes of Ziyech, Pulisic, hopefully Kai Havertz. I know one member of the panel will be joining soon. Won't feel that, but I think Kai Havertz has to be looking over his shoulder, especially if João Felix does well. We've got Nkunku coming in. I don't see how you put Kai in this lineup. I really
And
don't.
now there's the links to Vlahovic as well.
Yeah,
And
Vlahovic as well. Yeah, I put it in our group chat earlier. That's Kai. If Vlahovic comes in with Nkunku or something like that, Kai's done. I'm sorry, he's just done. You got João Felix there as well. You can play that. I'm sorry, he's just done. He's just done. Your Kai's done. Your Mason Mounts are done. They're just done. Your Pulisic, your Ziyech, they're done. Sterling's looking over the shoulder, but I'd still keep Sterling as part of the squad. Do you know what I mean? He's good enough. But at least that's what we've been crying out. That's what I don't get. It's like I've heard so many streams ask, how are we going to register these players? Well, you won't register the ones he's not going to use. How about that? That's the answer right there. He's not going to register people he's not going to use. Oh no, there's too many players. It's a squad. I used to watch Robin, Duff, Joe Cole, and Sean Wright Phillips go for 2 spots each. You know, Didier Drogba, Anelka, Malouda, Good Johnson, stuff like that. It's called a squad. It's what we've been wanting. Do you know what I mean? We want the options. Why do we want another right back? Because we don't have to play Reece James all the time. Why do we want other forwards? Because we don't have to play blah, blah, blah all the time. Do you know what I mean? It's called rotation. I want to be playing 65 games a year. I want to go deep in the cup competitions and in Europe. Do you know what I mean? And in the league. How do we do that? We build a squad.
Right. You know, too deep at every position. You got to be.
Exactly. That's what Jose Mourinho always said. So why is it wrong now? Oh, right. Because your favourite will get pushed out the way or something like that. That's what it is. Isn't
it? Like I said, we went from player stands to manager stands to owner stands. It's like, what in the hell? Can't you just be a Chelsea stand? How about that? Try that. We always talk about we want these players to live and die for the badge, but we're sitting out here talking about players rather than Chelsea, the football club. And we should be looking at, is the signing good for Chelsea or bad for Chelsea? Not, is it good for the academy players or bad for the academy players? Yeah. Good for my player, not good for my player. You can't do that. If you're doing that, what in the hell?
Exactly. I totally agree. And I think it's been nice this week that we had all the. I think you're in for a shock. I tell you what, you're in for a shock there, Jim, when he lines up for Liverpool as Jordan Henderson's long-time successor. That's what happens. But it's been nice this week. Had a win, just transfers and stuff like that, and it's come relatively quickly. And we haven't been. There's not been any negativity really. Do you know what I mean? In terms of it's usually been for the last few months, where every day it's just an argument about something.
Well, to that point, nice. to that kumbaya moment, I was actually on a live stream with Pies today.
Wow. Good Lord. Is hell frozen?
So, you know, this is reverse Friday, reverse Friday the 13th. So, yeah, we had a good stream. So, you know.
Oh, good. I'm glad. So didn't fall out over football, man. That's all, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of silly. It really
so sensitive, some people, man.
So, but everybody, usually it's a two-sided argument, so enough shade to be thrown around to both people.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Nobody comes out of a Twitter fight very on top.
Yeah, exactly. You both kind of. It's like that Spider-Man meme, you know. It's like you just do it. You don't come out, but you both don't come out looking good. So,
not at all. So I don't think we're bringing in a right back.
I can understand that.
I think that all the options we've looked at, I think some of them have said no. I don't want to play as backup to Reece James.
Yeah,
because Reece James is the money he's gotten.
Yeah,
he's obviously the number one, locked in when he's fit. He's playing.
Yeah.
So again, what I said on We'll Watch Chelsea the other day is you either have to find somebody at the end of their career that just wants some minutes, wants a trophy, It's fine to take a backup role, or you have to find somebody that's up and coming that just wants first team minutes and but doesn't need to start. So the idea would have been at this moment to bring Livermento back after having by on the buyback, because he would have had a year and a half, 2 years underneath his belt, but of course he picked up a knee.
Yeah.
So that's not even an option. And so, if you look at Dumfries, he's not going to want to sit behind Reece James.
No.
Pedro Porro, he's going to want to start, even though I think he's more a wing back than a fullback.
And there's a thing, there's an off the field thing with João Felix or something there, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you're not bringing him in. Yeah, that's
I will say
a whole
Gusto from Leon is only 20. He's going to be 20 this year. Actually, he's 19. So there is a way to say, you're joining a big club who wants to go far in each competition, right? It's going to be rotating the squad. It's the natural thing. It's rotating the squad. So whether you back yourself, and we know like kids sometimes like that have the arrogance to go, yeah, it doesn't matter who's there, and then knock them out, like out of contention, stuff like that. So there could be something there. I did read something that this is all pinch of salt rumors about them, speaking with him already and like convincing him about, you'll get the game time even with Reece there. And I believe a decent right back would get the game time with Reece there because of Reece's previous injury history.
Yeah.
And not in terms that he's going to get injured again, but just that we will manage him better, knowing that we have a replacement there. That you go, do you know what? We've got a midweek game. Who's it against? Oh, it's against, let's just say, Norwich. No, I don't need to play Reece there. We can just play whoever there. Reece can have a rest for the week and come back better. So I wouldn't. The thing for me would be, how much is it going to cost for him? Because Leon are so hard to negotiate. They're one of the hardest clubs to negotiate. They're like Napoli. They're so hard to negotiate with. Honestly,
that's why I love people putting. Oh, we're going to sign Osherman in the summertime, or the guy on the left wing. I can't say his name. Kavish, whatever. I'm like, do you not know who Napoli are?
Exactly.
You better bring out 2 wallets and 2 checkbooks, because they're going to want 150 to 200 million for either one of those players, and they don't care if you don't even come close. They won't talk to you.
Exactly. They basically get a buyout clause for having a buyout clause on their players. They get the top dollar for their players, no matter what.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to burn Jim here. Been told. Is that pounds or is that euros?
But yeah, so
is that pounds euros? What's a pound euro?
There's no euro sign. I know what Jim's going for. There's no euro sign. So he's just put a pound in to make sure. Yeah, I know what Jim's saying though, and he's saying between 30 or 40 million euros, which is what Pedro Porro's buyout clause is, 45 million euros. So I think if we do sign him, I don't think we're getting a midfielder, and vice versa.
I'd rather have the midfielder at this point.
I understand. I think I'd rather have the midfielder as well, but that's this stupid loan thing. But the problem with the loan thing is you have to put a buy obligation on it, and because we've got Felix and Zakaria on loan, the third one you have to put an obligation to buy. Which would be fine if we can loan Caicedo.
Okay. It's Caicedo, okay.
Loan Caicedo. We just say here's a £50 million loan fee, and we'll just pay another 40 when in the summer.
I would even do it for DePaul.
Interesting. Interesting, because I think in the midfield area, even though we need midfielders, I think there's going to be a lot of selling. In the summer, I think Jorginho leaves on a free, and I think we try and sell Loftus-Cheek and Gallagher, at least. And I think Kante is going to re-sign. Okay.
Jorginho's going to be out.
Jorginho's going to be out. There's as much as he played well in the World Cup, Kovacic has got a question mark for me. Given he's going into, I think after this year, will be 1 year left on his contract, I think it is, or something like that. And his injury, stuff like that. And he still doesn't have this knee thing. I don't even know if this is real, this knee thing. You know what I mean? Because if it was a constant thing, you think he wouldn't be playing as much, but he's not playing well. at all.
No.
As great as good as he has been for us in the past, he's not playing well. So it'd be interesting. They come in.
Now, Jim, the reason I highlighted that the pound euro thing is because when people are talking about transfer fees,
Yeah,
it goes from euros to pounds, and it's the same amount from euros to pounds, which is not the case, right? So some people go,
there's just no euro. There's no euro symbol. Oh no. So I just put 40 euros like that. Just do like that. That's what I do.
No, what I'm saying is you've seen all the different
you go from pounds to euros, you don't know what it is, something like that, yeah.
No, some people put the transfer fees 30 million euros, and for Madueke, they said some people say it's 35 million euro, some people say it's 35 million pounds. Well, that's not the same denomination of money. That's two different transfer fees. Which one is it? That's why I highlighted it, not to make fun of Jim. But
no, we know that. We don't know.
But the different when you set up Windows, if you're on a Windows machine, there's like a bajillion different types of keyboards you can set up for Windows, and there's there's a British version and a European version. One will do euro and one will do pound. So yeah, so for me, again, we'll have to see. I want Caicedo because for me, I would love a double pivot of Enzo and Caicedo.
Apparently he's liked Chelsea's transfer announcement today. So apparently,
Caicedo did.
Yeah, Caicedo did. I think the thing about the right back, which I think though, if you go in for a Caicedo already with £55 million bid, I don't think you stop there. Do you know what I mean? I just don't think you stop there. I just think you test the waters. Because if you heard the Brighton manager, he didn't rule out the sale.
No, he just said they're apparently looking for his replacement already.
Yeah, and they're going to sign someone like they did Caicedo for £4.5 million and sell him in another 2 years for £70 million like they're doing Caicedo. Do you know?
And I want to correct this because this is reporting. We had one reporter say 55 million plus 10, which is 65 million.
Yeah.
And then another reporter says it's 55 million. Well, okay, that's the base, but we actually bid 65 million. 55 plus 10.
Right, sorry. Yeah.
65 million. So because people are going, well, why if it's 75, why do we only do 55? We didn't. It's 55 plus 10 is 65. Now, for me, I would be saying maybe 60 plus 10 plus another year for Caldwell on loan.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
I mean, to me, that doesn't, that's not bad. That's not bad. Give him another year of actually getting game time.
What everyone forgets is after tomorrow, we have nothing for 2 weeks as a club, right?
Yeah.
Our next game is Fulham on February the 3rd. This means that off the pitch, they have got, from tomorrow, they've got 10 days, right, to thrash out a deal. Yeah, 10 days, like I said, to thrash out a deal.
Oh, yeah.
So I wouldn't bet against them getting it done. Like you say, I prefer a midfielder to a right back if it's out of the choice. But watch this space, man. I wouldn't put it past them to get both done. You know what I mean? It's like I wouldn't put it past them to get both done, and I just wouldn't. You know what I mean? It's just something, like you said, that everyone's crying about how much we're spending, but if you really read the deals, how much we're spending is not a lot. Do you know what I mean? We're still in FFP. So, and this is this year's FFP money. We're not talking about the summer. That's next year's FFP thing. That's why you don't count in Cuckoo's money for this year, like so many people are trying to do, because we haven't actually announced that yet as a deal. Do you know what I mean? So that goes into next year's FFP stuff. So that's what people don't realise. Try and add in Cuckoo's money to this one, like 60 million euros or something like that. And sorry, bud, it's not work because we haven't announced that yet. So we don't put it on our financials for this year. You know what I mean? So
no, look, I love how people go 1 + 1 is 2, so you own 2. No, it doesn't work that way. These contracts get amortized over the length of the contract.
Yeah,
8 years is what we're gonna be amortizing the cost of Mudryk. So
Yeah.
it's 97,000 a month
Yeah.
or a week, excuse me, a week.
Yeah.
So times 52 weeks, plus you take his 100 million euro.
Yeah.
But we would, if that's full with the full add-ons, right?
Yeah.
Let's say
Yeah.
all of them get done, and divide that by 8, and that's what your amortization is. So
You better
that's what.
believe if we sign Caicedo, he's 20 years old. You better believe he's getting a 7 or 8 year contract.
Yeah, definitely 7, 8 year contract. They're all going to get it, and the only reason that these idiots are now going to saying it's a violation of FFP is because they can't do it or didn't think of it first, and we were first, and we're making them look like the abject failures that they actually
about to
are.
say that. Are they going to complain about Forest giving that Brazilian guy a 6.5 year contract? I just want to know.
Yeah, I just think it's salt, a truckload of salt.
No, it's
Speaking
because
of salt,
it's because they thought we weren't going to spend any money. That's what they
right.
thought.
Speaking of salt, we have our saltiest member. What you say, Mr. Carlito?
Duke of Earl, Duke of Earl, Duke of Earl, Duke. As I walk through this world, Dookie plays for the best club in London, and you can fuck yourself, Mikel Arteta, you bitch. What's up, y'all?
Not much, man. We got some singing going on too.
Oh yeah, bro. I was just driving home, and that Gene Chandler song came on. I was like, oh my god, Duke of Earl, yes, from fucking King Ralph. What's up, No Tan Superman? How we doing?
All good, my friend. All good.
Yeah. How about that? So I love how this is always phrased when some bombshell report, which wasn't a bombshell report at all, gets phrased. Breaking news. Chelsea is accused of breaking FFP by manipulating the length of contracts, says some PL rivals. Says some PL rivals. Oh, you kind of buried the lead there, dog. Jesus Christ, man. Don't be so fucking obvious next time with your half-ass journalism that's only there for clicks. Oh, because some manager complained about it in a presser, that's all of a sudden breaking news? Get the fuck out of here. Come on, man.
Yeah. Like I said, billionaires have lawyers approve everything they do.
Yeah.
So
why would we be so foolish? Come on, man. We pay these guys retainers for this shit. Come on. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars just on retainer. They're not working. It's just the possibility of working. Yeah. God almighty.
It's the fact that first of all, there's no rules on how long a contract you have to give someone is.
Kepa, 7 years, right? Saul
Niguez,
9-year contract. 9-year contract.
No one complained about Kepa. You know what I mean?
I mean, Jared, is this not just sour grapes, Andrew?
Of course it is. I just said before he came on that. Remember in the summer after he got sold, your sugar daddy's gone. You're not going to be spending any money. It's all over for you guys. Listen, I'm currently in 10th. Fine, whatever. But us spending money is not finished.
Yeah, you remember Sky Cave? He's like, no, Chelsea fans are going to have to get used to this new normal. They're not going to be spending like they are under Roman. No, we're spending double. Okay, double.
We've never spent this much in January.
Oh, no one ever has. No one
ever
has.
Yeah, we've never spent. We spent probably more in January than some summers.
Yeah, but you have to also look at this as aggregate spend because, again, we have to look at, when the dust settles, who we're letting go as well. Because this is all like a year-long process, and that's where we'll have to look at the balance sheet is once, the 36 players we have, where 10 of them are no longer here. I mean, so again, this is all just, Premier League clubs recognizing that in a little bit of time, Chelsea's going to be really, really, really good again. And they're pissed that we're beating them to targets. And but Andrew, it's also not like we're spending much more money on salaries. Like Mudryk is on, with everything, he'll probably be on 120 grand a week. Total.
Yeah.
That's not like a hyper competitive wage. So, I mean, like, they're just pissed. They're just pissed that we got to these guys.
Yep. And I think it's funny also that the United fans and the Liverpool fans are looking how quick we got bought.
Yeah.
And how quick we're rebuilding and think it's going to happen for them. That was not a normal process.
No.
Yeah.
It's going to take a year or more for those clubs to be purchased.
Well, it was an actual, like, international incident type deadline where we have to do this or the club becomes insolvent. So it was a definition of an extenuating circumstance on top of the fact that we have particular American owners that throw $400 million in Mookie bets. Like these guys, they play for keeps. They don't fuck around. They win rings. And anyway, so it's just, go ahead.
If anyone comes out with a report that says, FIFA say the club's only permitted to give 5 years, let me just throw Kepa at you. Let me throw João Felix at you.
Let me throw, dude. Saul Niguez has a 9-year deal.
Exactly. So that rule doesn't. That rule, you know what? And also, you other fans, you should have kept your mouth shut because the Premier League could have got away with this. Do you know what I mean? Or not get away, but could have kept. FFP. No one would have gone to England and gone, "Oh man, you're spending too much." It's like that stuff like that. You could have kept under. No, you kept moaning and moaning and moaning because your own clubs aren't doing it, and that's the problem, isn't it? That's what it is. The problem is that our owners doing what they said they would do instead of yours.
Like I said,
yeah, that's what it is.
Look at the top of the table, Arsenal. How many years have they been rebuilding? 15? 16?
Go ahead. Sorry, Jared.
17 years. We know recently at least 4 or 5 years. They were 8th, 5th. So there's 3 years under this particular manager. And then they had Unai before that. So, yeah, we're going to do it in 1 year and be right back at the top of the table.
The other thing is that people thought Roman was going to leave us in a lurch, just leave us in a ditch somewhere. He made these new owners sign agreements that said you will spend $1.5 billion on this team or you do not get this team. You will spend money. It's not like they're altruistic about this. They fucking have to. It's in the deal. So that's just Roman making sure that we're not, out in the cold without a puffy jacket. Particularly Lewis's puffy jacket on Chelsea Fan TV. But no, look, I'm sure they want to spend money, but they have to. Otherwise, they won't be able to do what they want to do in a decade, which is probably recoup money and eventually sell the club. But they have to do this. It's part of the agreement. So tough shit to everybody else that's getting to watch this because this is extraordinary.
Yeah. And look, I get to see ESPN FC and all the stuff they say about Chelsea. First of all, they are the worst commentators when it comes to Chelsea. Any other team, they're amazing. Chelsea, they're crap. And they have a Chelsea player on the panel who is actually the worst of them all when it comes to Chelsea Football Club. So I've seen all the opinions, and they're going to be, well, how did this happen when we turn around and we're in the hunt for everything?
Yeah.
They're going to be going, oh, well, how did this happen? We didn't see this coming. Really? If you didn't talk shit all year and you actually knew, sat down and looked why we're buying all these players in these positions is because we're clearing the entire thing out. We're turning over the team, and only those who they deem good enough will be staying from those players from the past. Yeah. Everybody else is going to be new.
Yeah, the other thing is that, ESPN FC in particular, all the pundits are saying, well, where's the philosophy? This just feels like monopoly money spending. It's like, no, we have needs, a laundry list of needs, and we're checking off boxes. Like every other fucking club. Our needs just had to be really big because some players left, other players are out of contract, and other players are getting old. Like this happened all at once because this team has been essentially the same age for a while. A lot of the players that that are now 31, 32, they were all the same age for a while. Okay, so ESPN FC asking us, what's Chelsea's direction? What's their philosophy? It's a rebuild, dude. It happens all the time in other sports. Why are you picking on Chelsea?
Yeah. I mean,
what about Chelsea is so fucking fascinating that you have to label us as disorganized and directionless while you label other clubs that do shit like this as ambitious?
well, I saw even in the summer, they didn't say it was Barcelona or doing monopoly signings. It was just about how they got their money in the first place, right? It wasn't like they signed about 12 players.
They never criticized the signings.
It's like they forget. It's obviously people got short-term memories. I remember Roman's first summer when we signed about 13 players or something like that. We signed
Carvalho.
We signed Juan Sebastian Veron and Joe Cole in the same day.
It's so
crazy.
I mean? Veron, how about that?
I know, right?
Back in the day.
Listen, I like it because they hate us, and I'm fine with that because we upset their traditional Arsenal, Man United, and sometimes Liverpool competition. Right. You know what I mean? That's what it is. And also because we didn't do it the right way. Shut up, man.
Well, it's the nouveau riche argument, Andrew. But nouveau riche, that was 20 years ago, bro. We're not nouveau riche anymore.
They don't like it. Trust me. As soon they're waiting. They've done it against City, but no one cares about City. They're waiting for Newcastle to go on that splurge, and they'll turn against Newcastle like that. They won't be everyone's favourite second team anymore.
But they also pretend like in the 70s that Arsenal was just a bang-on team. Nobody talks about the fact that Leeds was the fucking team in the 70s. It wasn't these other teams. It wasn't these Blue Bloods clubs. It was Leeds.
Yeah.
Right.
It was Don Revie and Billy Bremner and Johnny Giles. It was those guys. That was the dynasty.
Well, it
wasn't fucking Arsenal.
You'd have to go back to the 40s and 30s and 20s, when segregation was big, when Arsenal was big.
Don fucking Revie, man. God, that was a wild boy.
Over half their league titles are run as well.
I choose not to speak. If I speak, I am in trouble.
So, you guys, this Maduki guy, have you listened to his interviews?
He's never going to say it right. He's never going to say it right.
Have you listened to his interviews? Guy's so cool. He's a cool dude, man.
I think you're okay. I think you don't have to call him a Duke. I think we're going to go. I know he's going to go by his first boys.
Noni.
Noni. Yeah, he's going to go by that.
All right,
Noni. Yeah, Noni or Noni or whatever you want to call him. Noni. That's what he's going to go by.
Nani.
No.
I'm gonna call him the Duke, man. Duke of Earl.
Hey, we'll yell if we want to.
The dude key does abide.
Oh, WRX94. Shut up. This is our stream, not yours. Hey, look. My club's being attacked, and I'm pissed about it because there's no consistency with narrative. If this was a blue blood club, they wouldn't be giving them shit. They still don't consider us a blue blood club. And at this point, I'm a little irritated.
But Josh, is that correct? Is that real? Are you making this up?
Chukwananta?
I don't.
Yeah, okay, well, according to Josh, that's his first name.
Okay,
and swinging a miss, I ain't helping with that one.
Chukwanonsa Tristan Noni Maduki.
Oh, wow, okay.
It's not Maduki, by the way.
Jared, I'm blaming you for that because you're the one that turned me onto the name.
Me?
Yes, it was last week. We were doing videos. I was like this mad man. And you're like, oh, it's Maduki. I was like, yeah, I love the name.
Sure. Okay.
I blame you, Jared.
With this accent, I don't get enough fire already.
No. The law of transitive property, my bad behavior is caused by you.
Okay.
I'm not responsible for my own actions.
Not at all. I'm 34 years old and I'm a child.
Okay.
Hey.
I guess your
Jared,
uncle will take the blame.
Jared, I have to be responsible 22 hours a day. For these 2 hours, I'm not going to be. Okay? I refuse.
22 hours.
Yeah. I have to be an adult all the time. It stinks.
You adult for 22 hours a day?
Yeah, when I'm not
What in the hell is wrong with you?
when I'm not streaming.
At most, I do 3.
Oh, that's fair.
That's it.
Yeah, but I'm ambitious.
Non-adulting's a full-time job. I take that very seriously.
Stinks.
Non-adulting.
Oh.
Not
I guess we do have the Chuck brothers, though.
Yeah.
Just don't be the Chuckle brothers, please. Just don't be
Yeah. Chukwemeka and Chukwuemeka.
Nah, he's been called Noddy. I don't care. I'm not doing the Chuckle
yeah.
All right, so what do we think about this Caicedo thing, guys?
I think it's going to happen.
I
think
do
it's
too.
gonna happen, yeah, I do as well. I think it's going to happen. There's no way you're going for a player like we did reportedly the first spin. You don't go back again. Plus, after tomorrow, I said to Jester before you come on, after tomorrow, we have no game to the 3rd of Feb. That means we have 10 clear days.
Yeah.
I'm just negotiating.
Well, it's negotiating its health as well, you know.
Yep.
Players in, players out.
Dude, yeah, like Andrew, we were talking about earlier in the chat about Ziyech essentially offering himself up to Barcelona. I don't know if they've seen his wages, but I mean that's one. But like we should be entertaining all comers, man. I mean, and not just with sales, but like including players in deals. I said this on Worldwide Chelsea earlier today. We need to be including our own assets that we want to expend into deals like Moises Caicedo, where we're taking Levi Colwell's 2025 contract, giving another 4 years onto it, and saying, okay, Brighton, we'll give you Levi Colwill for another year. You play him a ton, you develop him. That takes $10 million off of your asking price for Caicedo. Like, we need to start including assets. It can't just be straight money anymore, man. Like, we need to include assets because that's one of the only ways we're going to be able to get rid of these guys. People are not lining up to help us out.
No.
But I think we do have some sellable assets, especially if they have an English flag next to their name. Conor Gallagher, you're going to find that even Ruben Loftus-Cheek, you can find somebody who'll take him.
But they have to absorb the wages.
Price.
The problem
it doesn't
is wages.
matter. Look, Newcastle are looking at him right now.
That's one that can do it. Of course, they can. Of course, but
and both Crystal Meth and Newcastle are looking at Blonde Mount.
I can see you're not adulting right now.
No. Why in the hell would I adult? I'm off today.
In more ways than one.
Do you think?
Thank you for that.
Do you think Aubameyang goes this window?
Yeah.
You can let Aubameyang go. Ziyech, Newcastle are looking at Ziyech as well.
Remember, he's his own agent. He hasn't got agents. He's doing the deal himself. So there's no added agent fee for any club.
Yeah, but they literally have the same player over there already.
Left-footed?
Miguel Almiron? Yeah, he's the same player.
Yeah, but he runs.
Ziyech?
Yeah. They're very, very... Although Almiron's faster.
I don't think Almiron can pass like long, put a ball in like he can. But he's even got more assets in terms of the running around and stuff like that. So
I don't know. I don't care as long as he goes somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even. Yeah.
Again, I'm done with them all.
I don't care if they've got another player like that side of it. Just go, man.
Yeah, we don't care. If they want to take him.
Look at the position we just bought. It is quite literally Ziyech's position. So if that's not an indication to the player that it's time to go, I mean, Chelsea already knows. They've already talked to him. I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Who's going to go in the summer?
Yeah.
But an Ajax wouldn't stump up the cash.
Hey, look, I'll miss his crosses, but I won't miss his attitude.
Fair.
But no, I mean, he had some really cool moments for us, but just not enough.
Not enough.
So, yeah, as far as saleable assets in the team, we always can sell. I think I saw a players sale chart from I don't know if it's the last 10 years.
Drink water, dude.
Yeah, for the last 10 years or so. I think it was the last 10 years, and we sold double the amount of players and as far as pounds wise of any other club in the Premier League.
That's why we don't take a massive hit on Lukaku's transfer fees because we sold more that summer than we paid for him.
Right.
So,
people don't understand that we're not.
He's actually the only guy we bought. He's the only player we bought.
Right. We're not running in the red like other teams are.
No,
we're not. We're debt free, and no other team can really say that. Everybody else is borrowing money. Chelsea's debt free. So it plays a big role in the amount of cash you have on hand to make these deals happen. That's the other thing. You got to have at least what you say you have in the bank. So in any of these transfers, there's amount of money going out.
1 second.
It's not the full amount, but there is an amount that goes out. You got to have that money in the bank as in liquid cash. And if you don't, you can't spend it. And that's one thing we do not lack is liquidity.
Plus, I think we're going to see sponsorship deals roll in. Freeze out. Freeze last year on the front of the shirt. Welfin's not sponsoring the sleeve anymore, so that's going to be another sponsorship you can do. So it'll be interesting to see who comes in as a new sponsor, how big that deal is. I presume it'll be one of the biggest deals that football's ever seen when it comes to a shirt sponsor.
Are you talking about for Whalefin? Sorry, I missed this part.
Whalefin on the sleeve and also free on the front as well. They're in their last season this season, so
I'm wondering. I mean, Andrew, are we going with an American company?
I don't give a damn who it is, man. You know what I mean?
No, I'm just curious.
I presume so, but I don't care. Listen, roll in the money, man. Do you know what I mean? Roll in the money. You know, that's all that matters. That means no one can ever go and sell anything. Do you know what I mean? You know, roll in the money, sponsor whatever, sponsor each seat. I don't care. You know, it's all good to me.
We're getting Microsoft Azure.
Yeah, dude, I want us to be a NASCAR. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. It's not like it's betraying the spirit of the club or the integrity of the badge or anything like that. Just because there's going to be a bunch of sponsors surrounding the badge, I'm all for it, dude. Yeah, the Whalefin thing though, get away from crypto. Good God.
Yeah. That deal's ended, isn't it? Or it's going to end. So.
Yeah, I mean, you see the Miami Heat, their arena, they did a 15-year deal with FTX. That deal's gone. That deal started this year. That deal's gone already for the stadium sponsorship or for the arena sponsorship. So,
wonder how long the Lakers one will be sponsored by crypto.
Oh God, crypto arena.
I refuse to call it that. It's always the Staples Center.
How funny is that, though, Andrew? That the Staples Center is actually called the financial instrument. They're called by it's like being sponsored by money. They're crypto arena. That's hilarious.
Unbelievable. But yeah, I expect those deals to come in.
They're going to be massive.
So other stuff like that, which will be fine, which helps towards anyone's elements of how are we going to raise this money and stuff like that, and keep out of FFB and stuff like that.
It's just pure revenue, Andrew. It's pure revenue.
Yeah, it's revenue.
Now, are you opposed to renaming Stamford Bridge?
I think you have to find a way to keep the name.
Because add an addendum to it.
Yeah. Like you'd have to keep I think you'd have to keep Stamford Bridge in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Like something. I don't know how you'd name it, how you'd phrase it, but it'd have to be something like that. It'd be different if we moved. Do you know what I mean? If we moved from Stamford, we're not going to, but if we moved, like say the Battersea thing had popped out and we'd won there, it'd be different. You know what I mean? I'd feel differently because it's not Stamford Bridge. I think you'd have to make an addendum to it or something like that and add in.
Is White Hart Lane?
They only called it that because they haven't found a sponsor for it yet. They are looking for it, so they don't. It's like White Hart Lane. Quote marks is not actually called White Hart Lane.
Yeah, well, no, it's Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's the new White Hart Lane.
The new but they're looking for a sponsor.
So they are okay. I'm just making sure.
Naming rights,
they are looking for one.
I had the best sponsor ever.
Don't say Bang Bros.
Viagra.
The Viagra Bridge.
No. For the shirt sponsor, the blue shirt.
Oh, I like it.
Blue Chew or something like that.
Ooh, Blue Chew. Yeah, right. Nugenics with Frank Thomas.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, you could do something field at Stamford Bridge, even though nobody can tell me why it's called Stamford Bridge. So,
it's a history and stuff like that.
Well, there was an actual bridge, Jared.
Yeah, there was it.
But
And there was an actual
where the
battle, and
field
I'm not
is?
talking about the top. I'm not talking about the 2-2 game. There was an actual battle of the bridge.
yeah, but again,
Says the
where
history professor.
where
Jared.
this field is, there was not a bridge.
I
He's-
listen. Whatever
I mean-
it is, it's been known for that for decades.
Right.
Only fathers.
You know, it's just
only fathers.
By the way, I love Fatur. He's so fucking funny, man, with his Lakers obsession. Whenever LeBron's going for 30, it's Raymond James.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the guy's great. I love his fandom. He's fucking hilarious. So yeah, all right. So then, yeah, I mean, I'm wondering if like Baku Bryan and the pitch owners group and Chelsea supporters just are going to freak out if we try to, put a sponsorship on the stadium. Now, I mean,
they can't. No, listen, they would put it on the stadium. That's fine. It's just that they own the stadium, so it's just the pitch that's the issue. So they can put whatever they want on it. They can put on, like you say, Bang Bros stadium or something like that. They could put on there. It's all good. There's nothing that they could do. So, if they really want to avoid all the crying and the bitching, it'll be like you said, it'll be the addendum. Blah blah blah. Stamford Bridge, Amazon Prime, Stamford Bridge. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Right. Well, I think also, I think either Apple or Amazon Prime will win the next Premier League TV rights after this current one runs out, and so it's going to be a huge amount of money.
Billions.
Oh my god!
It's going to be. Hey,
hello.
How are
Hello,
you?
Melina.
Any panel I'm on is the best panel on YouTube. That's what I say.
Melina's all about Leandro Trossard today, man. Well, he's got a nice haircut, and he's pretty good. He's pretty good. He's okay. Good haircut.
He is Belgian. You know how they do.
Yeah.
Always underachieving.
It is a roll of the dice as to what type of effort you're going to get that day, man. I'll tell you what.
Oh, so we've talked about transfers. We've talked about the Duke.
The
We've talked
Duke.
about the Drick. The Moo Drick. I don't know if we're gonna have the Duke. We're gonna have the Drick, huh? I said that I see us beating Liverpool 3-2 tomorrow. Mudryk winner.
3-2. Good Lord.
Well, who's playing right back for Liverpool?
Yeah, I know. It's just us scoring 3 goals.
Who's playing the right back for Liverpool?
I know.
Right now it doesn't seem they could stop anybody.
By the way, I mean I wouldn't put pen to paper on Arnold starting. Seriously, if I was Klopp, I wouldn't do it. I would put like
he's starting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can put Joe Gomez there.
Who's he
Little
gonna put
little bro Bromez. Little Bromez.
He's defo starting.
Well, that's fine. Let him put Milner
That's
there.
fine.
I'm
I
fine
don't
with
mind
that.
him starting.
Oh, hey, Andrew, have you ever read Boring James Milner on Twitter?
I've seen a bit of it. Yeah.
It's so great. It's so great. It's the dumbest. It's the dumbest handle, and yet I love it. Twitter is the best.
So yeah, for me that's fine. But I think that, and how I would set up our team would be to counterattack mainly down our left, their right. And it would be easy to do so. And if you're not starting Mudryk, you better have somebody that can play and get in behind. So if it's not Mudryk on the left starting, it better be Aubameyang.
Does Melina know that Arsenal just got another player, a defender?
I can't pronounce
I
his
presume
name
she
either.
would.
Jacob QER or something?
Yeah,
Kiwi.
We
We're
are.
gonna call him Mr. Kiwi.
Okay, Jared. See, now I'm gonna get in trouble for this.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Payback's a bitch.
Maduki. You fucking guy.
You're the one's gonna catch hell for that, not me. If I start saying
I already
his name
did.
right.
I got criticized for it earlier. And they're like, don't make fun of people's names. I'm like, my God, Gen Z is killing me, man. This generation stinks.
That's not Gen Z.
Yes, it is.
It's
The ones that
Zoomers.
get offended by everybody, Gen Z is Zoomer. What do you think the Z stands for?
I don't know. That
Gen Z is
came-
Zoomer.
I thought Gen Z came after Gen X. You know.
No, millennial came after Gen X.
Well, why would I know,
Gen
because
Z is
I'm in the best generation, so I'm worried about that.
what generation is that? The in-betweeners?
No, Gen X.
I mean, you were going to no grunge concerts, Brosif.
Brosif?
That's right.
Corn.
By the way, I'm a Corn fan too.
So-
The reason yeah, I loved Corn.
So
All right. What other news we got, Jared?
I don't know. That's about it.
Yeah,
than should we give Mason Mount what he wants to resign?
no, no, because do you okay?
Surprising
Who do you
answer.
think is better, Mason Mount or João Felix?
João Felix.
There you go. Then we just answered your question. I mean, what are we talking about? Because any backup would be a guy like Carney, right? Or a guy
Right.
like Arsene Jakarian if we buy him, or
Right.
a guy like Cesare Casadei. I'd be like, oh, this is an easy answer.
Well, with the attackers we bought, he doesn't have a place in the attack.
He
So
doesn't have a
that's-
place, Andrew.
Doesn't have a place in the attack. So there's no point playing him in the attack. Doesn't have a place. When everyone's fit, he doesn't have a place. And if you're going to play three in midfield, maybe you could maybe play in one of those positions. But if you are going to get a Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez and promote Chukwuemeka, you're going to have Kovacic still there and Kante, so you're 5 deep already.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I think because it's very telling how quickly Reece James's contract was done compared to Mason Mount's contract.
Yeah, and it wasn't a small contract either. Like, they did not hesitate at all to give him a shitload of money.
Exactly. So I think it's.
Oh no.
I don't think they're offering what he thinks he deserves. So listen, I say this. I give a deadline to myself. If we don't agree something by July 1st, then I'll just put you up for sale. You got 1 year left.
The other thing, like, you have to
That's
look
the
at it like
rules.
this, because I know that you're reading reports, but let's be adults and objective for a second here. I don't think Chelsea's going to get rid of Kai because I think Potter fancies him, and I think that if we're looking at our attacking options, because I also don't think Sterling is going anywhere. He'll be in the second year of his deal, right? So we're looking at our attackers, right? We have Christopher Nkunku, right?
Yep.
Starter, not just a starter. He'll be one of the best players. Mudryk, obvious starter. João Felix, best player on the team, obvious starter. Madueke, whether he starts or not, he will play for sure. Okay, Raheem Sterling, he will play for sure.
5.
Christian Pulisic is still on the books. Okay, he's still on the books, and until he's sold, he's still a player. Okay, Armando Broja, still a player. Omari Hutchinson, still a player. Now, those are just the attackers. You can even put Carney Chukwuemeka
Fofana.
into that as well. You could put Datro Fofana, although I do think Datro Fofana is going to go to Galatasaray with Drogba. Drogba's trying to convince him to go there because he's a Ivorian.
He's also still on the books. Cho's still on the books.
But I think this.
I know,
but
it's like.
But what we're looking
at deep at the moment.
You're totally right, but here's the thing. So since we're going to be playing a front three, okay, that takes care of the front three. Although I'd like to see João Felix play ACM. Okay, and then we go to the midfield, and you just mentioned all the midfield, Andrew, and I feel as though Chelsea simply wants a different type of player because we just bought a bunch of dynamic players because Nkunku, he's already here. João Felix, Mudryk, Madueke, like these guys are dynamic as hell. They're all fast. They're all mobile. They can all go left to right, right to left. And Mason Mount can't do any of that. And he can't keep up. And maybe this is just a sign because as soon as all this happened, I saw this tweet that said within 48 hours there's going to be a press release or a leak from some journalist that says that Mason Mount is now working on his contract with Chelsea. And what do you know it? As soon as Madueke was announced today, boom, here comes an announcement from some journalist, some leak that says Chelsea and Mason Mount are in contract negotiations. Of course they are, because I feel as though Mason Mount's camp is sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they are. I think
If
they
you do
said
see
they
Tyson,
could get, I think they said they could. I think they told him they're going to get whatever, and they didn't get that. They didn't get that.
Well, he ain't getting 300 grand.
No, he's not getting 250 either. I don't think
Mudryk is on 120, and that includes add-ons. That includes bonus.
Yeah.
His base salary is £100,000.
I thought it was 97.
What's the bet?
I'm rounding up.
Okay.
I think Mount's on somewhere between 80 and 88,000 or something.
I thought it was 79.
No, I'm not saying that Mount doesn't deserve a new deal.
No,
what I'm saying is that he's going to get a new deal appropriate to his contribution.
I'm just guessing. I'm speculating. Let's say they offered him 150, something like that, which I think is good enough for him to sign. But I think he's aiming 200 or higher.
Well, he's smoking a lot of grass.
See what Reese? I know, I totally understand. But see what Reese got, and he'll say, he'll come to me. Well, I'm there. I'm hardly ever injured. I don't care. you know what I mean? I don't care if you're there and hardly ever injured. You don't put in the what we need. You don't put in what we need. So listen, test the waters. If you don't, like I say, give yourself a July 1st deadline. If you haven't signed, then put them up for sale.
I mean, look, I hate to bring this up, but pull Lamar Jackson and put yourself on the market. Now, Lamar, I mean, whether Lamar goes like Miami or New York or something.
Test the waters.
He'll get it, but
he'll get the money, get the bag.
But I get why Bishotti doesn't want to pay him, and I also am starting to understand why Chelsea is looking at Mountain going, you are overcooking your grits. Like you are overvaluing yourself in a way that is kind of staggering. I guess he sees himself as a different player than everybody else sees him as.
Yeah, he sees himself as the new Mr. Chelsea. That's what it is.
Well, he's not. Reece James is Mr. Chelsea. Reece James is Mr. Chelsea.
I know. But I'm saying he sees himself as the Mr. Chelsea. The new John Terry. Whatever, Mr. Chelsea. Wow. That's what it is. Telling you right now.
No, I'm with you, Andrew. I get you.
He also, of course, came out here recently that Man United are not going to pay anybody over $200K. When did they say that? When did they say that?
A couple of weeks ago, was a report about them putting like a. That's why they're asking David De Gea to sign a new contract, but with a huge wage decrease. So, is this why Rashford's deal has been scuttled a little bit? Well, he's on more. He's on 200 grand, I think. Yeah, just over. So yeah, possibly. But the thing is, listen. The thing is, you got to listen. Go. If you think someone's going to pay you 250, Liverpool aren't going to pay you 250. If you think you're going to go to Liverpool, there's no way they're paying you 250 a week. Not a single chance. Yeah, I mean they couldn't pay Mane, right? Because they had to pay Salah. They literally chose one over the other. Exactly. You had to make a choice between Mane or Salah, and they chose Salah. And right there, United can't because their cap is 200 grand. Exactly. So who else is there? Are you going to go to Arsenal? Maybe so. His boy toy Deco might be there. So, Andrew, I do want him to test the waters. I do want him to see if he'll be given this duvet of comfort and protection once he leaves the Chelsea stadium. Because you remember that scene? Remember that scene in Road to Perdition, where Tom Hanks, who's playing the gangster, right? He goes into Frank Nitty's office, right? Played by Stanley Tucci, amazing actor. And he says, once you leave this office, once you leave Capone's umbrella of protection, once you leave Frank Nitty's umbrella of goons that look after you, once you leave, that protection disappears. It's gone. And it never comes back. Once you leave, you're on your own. So in the same vein, you tell Mount, okay, you want to test those waters? Once you leave, we cannot protect you from actual criticism.
We cannot protect you from what fans will really say about you. The way that we've been editing shit that's been said about you within our own fan base, which they do. Yeah, all they're doing is promoting Mount all the time. Promoting Mount.
The thing is, though, is that I saw a report going, oh, yeah, well, Liverpool and Juventus. Juventus aren't doing anything this summer.
Juventus is just doing nothing by giving points back. It's got sanctioned. They're fucked.
I never see with Mount. I never see any foreign club linked to this guy. I never see any foreign club. I never go, oh, Bayern Munich are going to be in. Oh, Real Madrid. It's only listen. Let's face it. With a financial thing, you don't count Barcelona or anything. Okay, it's only going to be Real Madrid or Bayern Munich at the moment, right? And Bayern Munich are restructuring and doing different things. So. He's not it. I've never seen Man City. I never see Man City linked to him. I never see Arsenal really linked to him. I never see not even Spurs linked to him. Even Newcastle with their money, I never hear them linked to him.
No, but they want to win.
Test the. What? Do you know what? I've had an honest conversation. Yeah, you were good. You overperformed a couple of years, right? But you are not that player, right? If someone offers you 150 grand a week for the next 6 or 7 years, you bite their hand off and say thank you very much, sir. Do you know what I mean?
May I have another
grand for 6 or 7 years? 150 grand a week.
Yeah, how about that job security, Andrew?
Good
Jesus,
Lord. You into your 30s with your average? Good Lord, you can. My God, 150 grand a week. Yes, to sit on the bench or in the reserves or train, fine. I'll take it.
Yeah.
See you later.
Bakayoko's still getting paid.
Exactly. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is on over 100 grand a week. Do you know what I mean? It's like, no wonder he doesn't want to move because no one else is going to pay him that. You know what I mean? It's like, good Lord, take that.
Very, very true.
Take that,
Josh. Yeah. Put that up, Jared. Put that up. What Josh just said.
Take whatever they offer you, man.
That's very true.
Yeah, I don't believe that. Can I tell you right? I don't. I know Sarri might have mentioned that. I don't believe he had any. If Sarri stayed, I don't
remember that.
I know, but I keep getting told that. So Sarri was looking at him and mentioned him. I don't believe that. I don't believe that he would have ever had the intention of playing.
If he said it, I would have known. I'm obsessed with this team.
Sorry, didn't even
listen to every word.
Sarri
he did not know. He didn't know who Pulisic was when they bought him. He's like, who?
Name me a player.
He didn't even know.
Mount. Name me a player that's like Mount in his Napoli, his Chelsea team, or that he had, or his Lazio team right now that looks like a Mount. You can't tell me that because it doesn't exist. Yeah,
right.
Doesn't exist. Oh, Milinkovic-Savic. Milinkovic-Savic is not like Mason Mount. Okay,
not even close.
Not at all. Okay. First of all, he's supplying assists and goals this season, so that's not Mason Mount for sure. Do you know what I mean? From a deep line playing with deep line midfield as well. So don't give me this fantasy nonsense that he would have made it anyway. Hey, can I just say something right now? I don't think for a transfer, I think Reece James might have struggled. As good as he is, I think under what we've done before and not really promote academy people, players, I don't know if he would have done it as well.
He probably would still be on loan.
Exactly. But I don't think what I mean is I don't think he would have even made it. Yeah. Just how we've been spending and not promoting academy players under Roman, that's all. So, let's get it right. It's a right statement.
Let's have it right.
Yeah.
One thing I want to say, and Jared's gonna love this. Jared, our boy Andre Santos put on a show yesterday.
He did.
A fucking show.
That's another one. So we're down to 8 in midfield.
Oh my God, Andrew, we forgot Andre Santos.
8.
Yeah.
So we're 8. We're into 8 now midfielders.
Well, I think he's ready. I don't know if this can be this year because of he might have to go on loan because of the visa thing. Because I haven't heard. I've asked again. Nobody knows if his visa got sorted yet. He's applied.
Shakhtar.
Well, I think he got to go back to Vasco da Gama.
Oh yeah.
So
I was thinking if it got through, just send him alone to Brighton and sweeten that Caicedo deal even more. You know what I mean?
There you go. Hey, is there any way we would buy Shakhtar?
I don't know. I was reading somewhere that the Mudryk transfer is nearly as much as their whole club is worth. So
right.
No,
I mean, what I mean is, I know that Bowley wants to buy other clubs. We want to become City Group, but Chelsea Group. And is Shakhtar owned by the nation state, or
no, I don't believe
Okay.
so. No.
okay, just making
I
sure.
think it's got its own owners, but
No
it's
comment. 'Cause I
possibility.
have no idea.
Oh, you're right. Cassady's another one. Probably down to 9.
It's like, yeah, Cassidy.
Cassaday's another one. That's down to 9 midfielders now. So it's ending up looking at Mason Mount's running out of room. Take the money and just train. Just take the money and train. Take the money, whatever they're offering you, and because you're never going to get a better deal anywhere else for the wages you want. Never. Just take the money and just sit on the bench and be a forgotten man. Or
Why is
like that.
Josh not on this fucking stream?
He can't.
Josh, you've messaged 50,000 times.
He can't. He says that his wife said no, and he that's it.
I'm not going to touch that one, man.
You've so thrown him under the bus then. You've done it now, Josh. He's done you dirty there, Josh. He's done you dirty there. Oh, my
Jared, you bastard.
At least he can say he has a wife. You know, hey, that's probably why I'm single and divorced twice.
Josh,
you know?
I apologize. This dirty old man is dirtying out your laundry.
Well, I'm sure that played a part in it.
I mean, zing.
You know, it's all banter between the fellows.
I saw one of the most delicious pictures today. Ben Chilwell, João Felix, and Reece James all in the same photo. Oh my gosh! And it's João Felix's Instagram, and it says they got my back. João Felix. Don't tell me he's going back to Spain. He's not. No way.
Which is why I said earlier that I think the Casado deal, gets done this summer, because I think they want to put some money aside for João Felix, because that's not going to be cheap, that deal. So
I think it'll be about 75 million.
I think 75 to 85, something like that. They want to keep as much as possible.
But João Felix is going to be getting a 6 to 7 year deal too.
That's what I said to Josh. I said to Josh and Lewis, he said, he's just trying to get out of the 7 year to put him in another one. Well, there we go.
Yeah, but our football agrees with him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, again, that's fine. My only reservation now on Felix is if the Vlahovic thing, whether you think it's right or not, is real.
Yeah.
Then maybe they say, you know what, we're not going to bring in João Felix. We're going to get Vlahovic instead. Yes, I know, two different types of players, but that's my only concern is maybe they do that instead. And I know you don't like that.
No, not at
Carlito,
all.
but
I'm not a 1990s football guy. I didn't ask Doc Brown to gun it to 88 and take me back, bro.
Well, why do we keep buying these big strikers then? I mean, Fofana's not a little man. Roja's not a little man.
Fofana? He's not big. He's not big.
He's 6'3", isn't he?
Datro Fofana?
Yeah.
No.
Uh-oh. Let's look it up. Excuse me, folks.
It's 5'11". You butthead.
5'11". He's 181 meters. I mean, 1.81 meters.
Yeah, 5'11".
That's over 5'11", I thought. That was like 6'1".
It's really not.
I don't know.
I know you don't.
I don't know meters that I can't do metric to imperial in my head.
No,
especially since when it comes to height, it's different than normal.
I'm gonna jump off, fellas. So I want to thank
me too.
Speak to you soon.
Well, make sure there's a trampoline or something underneath you.
That's that's the problem. I've sunk it too low into the ground. See you later, guys.
later on, brother.
Subscribe.
So yeah, I think we're probably at the end. I don't have anything else to talk about.
There's one more question.
Sure.
As Andrew goes, what's happening with Blonde Mount? Divorce is happening.
Yeah, I think he's going to be going to Newcastle or Crystal Palace.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think we're just waiting for Caicedo or whoever the midfielder is to come in before we allow him to go out. But I think it's going to be him and possibly Ruben and Ziyech. Those are the three I see going possibly bye-bye in the
You
winter
know what I
time.
think? I'm very happy that these players are getting punished for thinking that they can play mediocre.
Absolutely.
I'm
Well, we
very
don't.
happy about it.
Yeah. Well, everybody's on notice now.
Oh my
If you
God!
don't,
Immediately, it happened immediately.
yeah, everybody's on notice. If you don't put
Jared,
out,
we bought
gotta
3
get out.
players in 1 week.
Yeah, I think we bought a player every other week
Dude,
or something
Mudryk,
like.
Felix, and it happened in like the last 10 days. It's crazy. Madugi?
Yeah, we had Madueke, Mudryk, and Felix come in. It's a matter of a couple of weeks. Yes, that's all. That's nuts. And it's going to get even nuttier toward the end because you're going to look at Caicedo possibly coming in and people going out. You're talking about a hell of a. This is
Hold
a
on.
summer window in
This
in
Mo
the
guy
winter.
says 36 players. These players will go for cheap. Bad move by Bowley. Says who? Says who that they're going to go for cheap? What are you talking about? We're not desperate in any respect. We'd like to sell these players. We're not desperate. It's not like we're desperate to buy somebody. I don't understand why this is a bad move for Bowley. He's not making any bad moves.
No, it's not a bad move because it's not only. Okay, this is what people don't realize. It's not when you sell a player, you have to think of it two ways. If I hold on to this player for another year, then I have to take whatever I was offered and add the salary I now have to pay that player on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
So does it work out to hit the number you wanted? If it does, then go ahead and take the lower number because you take that salary off your books. That's the way you look at it. Just because you think that this player should go for X amount of dollars, that might not be what the market says he's worth. That just is what it is. It's market based, not it's he came from Cobham. He was at Chelsea. Doesn't matter. If nobody will pay you that amount of money, they're not worth it.
Yeah, and by the way, to start a bidding war, all you need is 2 clubs.
Yep.
And that's exactly how you get a transfer fee to go up. So, yeah, I mean, we want to sell, but it's not like it's not like Newcastle's going to come into our office, right? I was going to say, so we'd love to buy Ziyech and Conor Gallagher, but we know that you guys are looking to sell, so you're going to give us a deal, right? No deal. You pay what we want, or you can walk, or I can bring someone else in that will pay us what we want, and then we start a bidding war. So either they walk, or we bring in a second party. But no, 36 players, bad move by Bowley. You're just looking for something to complain about Bowley with. That's all you're doing. Mo. You're just looking to complain about something because you can't complain about anything right now. Big bad boogeyman American Bowley.
So, I think that again, we're not going to be doing the thing we did in the past, which was taking our evaluation on players so high that it's hard to sell them. We're going to give reasonable valuation, knowing that not only we get the money in, we get their wages off the bill, and that goes towards FFP just as much as transfer fees. So keep that in mind when you see some of these players go for lower than what you think we should have been selling them based on what we paid for. Maybe Roman and them lot overpaid for players. Maybe that's a possibility. I mean, come on now. You're not going to get the money back.
Keyshawn, he says, we're not going to take a loss no matter how much we sell them for. No, I'm not worried about loss. I'm worried about justifying spending.
Right. And there will come to a point where Bowley goes, until we get an Egbali. We always say Bowley because he's pretty much the face. But Egbali is just as involved and is a huge football fan. by the way. And so these guys will say at a certain point, we're going to have to slow down until players go out. We're not at that point yet because they're still writing checks. So after Caicedo comes in, or whoever the midfielder is, which I believe is Caicedo, then you'll look at outs, and you'll start hearing outs for a while. And I think you'll maybe talk about renewals if Mount gets done, if Conte gets done. Conte's closer to being done than Mount.
Oh, but there won't be any positive journalism articles about how Chelsea is selling enough players to balance their books. That won't be a story. No,
No.
Of course not. Of course not.
It'll be shitting on us, but that's what they like to do.
How could you let Ziyech go? He was good for 2 weeks in the World Cup. How could you do this?
Yeah.
I'll show you how. I'll show you how.
So it's going to be what it's going to be, and we're just going to deal with it. We're doing a 1-year rebuild. Again, Arsenal took at least 3 years, if you want to say, just under Arteta. This is the 4th year. We're doing it in 1 year. Okay?
Yeah, we rebuilt our attack in 10 days. How about that?
Yeah. So, y'all, you've never seen anything like this. You will never see anything like this again.
It's only a Chelsea, dude. Chelsea is I mean, they're trendsetters, they're ball busters. You know, they're slump busters. Shout out Jared. They look we buck the trends, man. We make our own.
Yeah, this is again. We just need to be calm. Understand that when the injured players come back, we will move up the table. We are not as bad as our place is. It's just a matter of fact. If you don't have a Ben Chilwell, if you don't have a Reece James on the pitch, giving you the width that we need to exploit defenses, you're not going to look good because you're playing basically 3-on-5. Yeah. Now we're going to be playing 5-on-5. Let's see if their 5 can start our 5 with those players fit, which nobody has been able to yet. So,
yes, sir.
The future looks bright. Just be calm. Do what you have to do to be calm.
Now, Chelsea fans are just searching for something to complain about, Jared. They always are.
Yeah.
And they do it under the auspices of standards. They say, oh, no, I'm not being an asshole. I just have standards. Not being an asshole. I just have standards. It's like, well, no. You can call it standards, but you're being an asshole.
Yeah, I am 100% behind what we're doing and how 100%. We're doing it.
100%.
And I'm not going to change from that. It is what it is. We are in the position we are in because of past mistakes and maybe some current mistakes. But if anybody wants to slate the ownership that's come in, it's just, to me, they've done an amazing job and they've overachieved based on what they came in with. So nothing went right in the beginning. They lost the staff that they thought they would have with Mourinho and with Czech, both leaving. One was they had to get rid of because of the Lukaku thing. The other went. The whole board went. And then they found out the manager didn't want to work well with them, and they had to let him go. So coming from that to where we are now going forward in the positivity through this window, people need to be impressed. That's all I'd have to say.
I am, man. I really am. It's pretty staggering, to be honest with you. Who decides on which player gets sold? Potter? It's a group. It's Vival's, 4 amigos, and then Potter, and that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be one or the other. It should be a collective.
Yeah, there's many inputs on that, but they still want to give Potter players that he wants to work with. So if Potter's having difficulty with a player, maybe that would trigger somebody saying Potter got rid of a player. Yeah, if somebody has a loud mouth and is retarding the team from improving and getting better through attitude, yeah, Potter would have a say to get rid of that person. Absolutely. Because they want the team to be successful. Because again, they're an investment group. The only way they can turn a profit on this investment is if Chelsea win things. Chelsea becomes worth more money.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
the end game.
Yeah, maybe that you don't like that because you want everybody to be pour their soul into the teams, but that's not how football clubs run anymore.
Yeah, that's when football clubs were going for $3 million.
Right.
Sorry.
When you start having B's at the end of prices, which means billions, there's not a whole lot of people in the world with billions that can go in and put their own money in. It's going to be more than likely a conglomerate coming in anyway. Even the Newcastle owners are a conglomerate. Even though that might not be the case, officially they're a conglomerate.
On paper, they're a conglomerate.
Right.
Officially, but behind the scenes, it's a country. It's a country.
It could possibly be. Just for litigious reasons, I'm going to say I don't know. So, again, well, it sounds like you've had your fill of barbecue.
I certainly did. I just had a burger, fries, and a Coke. I'm like a Carl's Jr. commercial. It's fucking delicious.
How many lines?
Hey. I mean, in the late 2000s, I would have dabbled, but it's been some time, man. That was the old Ryan. That was a long time ago. Jeez Louise. All right, this last one. Let's just talk about this last one, and then we'll go because I've got a 1980s B movie to watch. I'm not sure which one yet, but I'm thinking either The Blob or what's that movie? What's the Stephen King directed it? Emilio Estevez is in it, and
Repo Man.
No, great movie. That was not a Stephen King movie. Anybody that hasn't seen Repo Man, go watch Repo Man. It's cool as shit, and the ending is fucking insane. No. It's where the Mack trucks turn sentient.
Maximum Overdrive.
Maximum Overdrive. Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna go watch one of those. I may even throw on Repo Man. Hey,
Maximum Overdrive. Better than The Blob. The Thing is even better.
The Thing's amazing. The Thing's one of the best movies I've ever seen. The Thing is so good, it's surprising.
Yeah.
I still can't believe how they did that. And Kurt Russell, the balls.
Young Kurt Russell.
Yeah, with the hair.
Yeah, he always had a hair, man.
A lot of hair.
Or you could always do Escape from New York.
Oh, by the way, look at this. My friend Shane, I've had him on Worldwide Chelsea for a huge Arsenal fan. Fabregas signed an 8-year deal with Arsenal.
Really?
Yeah.
So this again is sour grapes.
19 years old. He signed a 8-year contract with Arsenal. But I thought the FIFA said that in England you can only sign 5-year deals. Horse hockey. It's horse hockey, Jared. Horse hockey.
Yeah. That is people are just pissed they didn't think of it or didn't do it, or they have owners that aren't willing to do it. Not our fault. Speak to your own, that's a you problem, not a me problem.
Yeah. The funny thing about assuming is that it makes an ass out of you.
Yes, and mini me.
No. It's from you ever see the movie Slam and Salmon?
No, doesn't really.
Oh, really? It's the guys that made Super Troopers. Yeah, Michael Clark Duncan, big guy from Green Mile. He sucks at saying phrases, so he's like, assuming makes an ass out of you. It's supposed to be you and me, right?
Right.
Yeah, because he's an idiot.
R.I.P. Michael Clark Duncan.
R.I.P.
All right, sir. Well, that's the end of the show. Appreciate everybody being with us tonight. If you haven't subscribed, please do. If you haven't told your friends, why not? And please do that so we can have a larger audience, so we can do more things, more shows, and maybe have some special guests on. Who knows? But Carlito, I appreciate you being with us tonight, and Andrew as well, and for everybody who showed up in chat, appreciate you as well. Then the review tomorrow after the game. It's going to be really early in the morning for me, but we'll suffer through.
Oh, fuck you, early. It's an hour even earlier for me.
I know you just might as well not go to bed tonight.
This is why I'm throwing on. This is why I have a slate of B movies I'm gonna go watch because I can't do anything because I got to get up early. That and I'm pooped. I'm pooped, man.
Hey, I hear you. All right, till next time. We'll see y'all tomorrow, and hopefully with good news with another win. We'll see you then.
We'll see.